Have you ever laughed at a joke that didn't feel funny? Or said yes when everything inside you wanted to say no? Or bought something you didn't really need, just because everyone else seemed to have it? If yes, you're not alone. Most people believe their decisions are fully independent. We like to think we are logical, self-aware, and in control of our choices. But the truth is more uncomfortable. A large number of the decisions we make every single day are quietly influenced by other people. Sometimes directly. Sometimes silently. And sometimes without anyone saying a single word. Imagine this. You are walking down a street. It's a normal day. Then suddenly, you notice people slowing down. Then stopping. Then looking up at the sky. You don't know why. Nothing has happened to you. But something changes in your mind. At first, you ignore it. Then curiosity kicks in. Did I miss something? And before you realize it, you're also looking up. Not because you saw anything, but because everyone else did. That is peer pressure. Not loud. Not aggressive. Not obvious. But powerful enough to change behavior in seconds. Welcome to Hidden Minds. Today, we're going deep into the psychology of peer pressure, why we follow the crowd, how it shapes our identity, and why even intelligent people struggle to resist it. When people hear peer pressure, they often think of teenagers being forced into bad decisions. But peer pressure is much bigger than that. Peer pressure is any influence from people around us that causes us to change our behavior, opinions, or choices. It doesn't always involve words. Sometimes it is. What people are wearing. What people are buying. What people are laughing at. What people are ignoring. And without realizing it, we adjust ourselves to fit in. This process is called conformity. And conformity is one of the strongest psychological forces in human behavior. Because humans are not just individuals. We are social beings. And social beings are wired to belong. To understand peer pressure, you must first understand one thing. Belonging is not optional for the human brain. It is essential. Thousands of years ago, humans survived in groups. Being part of a tribe meant protection, food, and safety. Being rejected meant danger. So the brain evolved a powerful rule. Fit in, or risk exclusion. Even though modern life is different, the brain still carries that ancient programming. That's why rejection feels painful. That's why being ignored hurts. And that's why standing alone feels uncomfortable. In fact, studies show that social rejection activates the same brain regions as physical pain. So when you feel uncomfortable going against the crowd, it's not weakness. It's biology. Picture this. A classroom during a test review. The teacher asks a question. You know the answer. You are confident. But nobody raises their hand. Silence fills the room. And suddenly, something changes inside you. A thought appears. What if I'm wrong? Even though nothing about your knowledge changed, your confidence drops. So you stay silent. Then finally, someone speaks. And it's exactly what you were thinking. What happened? You didn't lose knowledge. You lost confidence because of the group. This is peer pressure without words. No one told you to be quiet. But the environment did. And this happens every day in meetings, classrooms, workplaces, and even families. In the 1950s, psychologist Solomon Asch conducted a famous experiment. Participants were shown a simple task: compare line lengths. The answer was obvious. Anyone could see it. But there was a twist. The other people in the room were actors. And they were instructed to give the wrong answer. One by one, they confidently chose the wrong line. Then it was the participants' turn. Even though the correct answer was clear, many participants still agreed with the group. Not because they were confused, but because they didn't want to stand alone. Let that sink in. People denied what they could clearly see, just to fit in. If that is how strong peer pressure is in a controlled experiment, imagine how it works in real life. Now fast forward to today. Peer pressure has changed form. It is no longer just physical. It is digital. Open social media. A trend appears. A product goes viral. A lifestyle becomes popular. And suddenly, millions of people start copying it. Not because they carefully analyzed it, but because it looks normal. And what looks normal feels safe. Our brain uses a shortcut. If many people are doing it, it must be right. But this shortcut is not always correct. Sometimes the crowd is informed. Sometimes the crowd is confused. And sometimes the crowd is simply copying another crowd. Another powerful form of peer pressure is FOMO. Fear of missing out. You see people traveling. You see people succeeding. You see people buying things. And suddenly, your own life feels smaller. Even if nothing about your life has changed. This comparison creates pressure. And pressure creates action. You start wanting things you didn't want before. Not because they matter to you, but because you feel left behind. Imagine hearing everyone talking about a new opportunity. People are making money. People are excited. People are joining in. You don't fully understand it. But you don't want to be left behind. So you join. Not because you studied it deeply, but because everyone else seems confident. Psychologists explain peer pressure using two main forces. Informational influence: we assume others know something we don't. Normative influence: we want acceptance and avoid rejection. Together, these forces make conformity extremely powerful. And often invisible. Because you don't feel pressured. You just feel like you are choosing normally. Now here's where things become personal. If no one could see it, would you still want it? Think carefully. If nobody could see your phone, would the brand matter? If nobody could see your clothes, would status matter? If nobody could see your achievements, would they feel as important? If nobody could see your life online, would your goals feel the same? Many of our desires are real. But some are shaped by the presence of others. We don't just want things. We want what they represent. Status. Approval. Recognition. Belonging. A car becomes more than transportation. It becomes identity. A post becomes more than expression. It becomes validation. And slowly, without noticing, we begin living under an invisible audience. Even when no one is watching. Peer pressure is not always negative. It can also be powerful in positive ways. A friend pushes you to study. A group motivates discipline. A community encourages growth. A mentor inspires change. The same force that leads people to harmful behavior can also lead them toward improvement. The key is direction. Not whether peer pressure exists, but what kind of influence you are exposed to. You don't need to escape society to think independently. You just need awareness. Pause before following. Am I choosing this, or copying it? Remove the crowd mentally. Would I still want this if nobody else was doing it? Accept discomfort. Standing alone feels uncomfortable, but discomfort is not danger, it is growth. Diversify influence. Different perspectives protect independent thinking. Peer pressure is not a flaw. It is human nature. We are built to connect, to belong, and to move with groups. But in a world filled with opinions, trends, and constant comparison, awareness becomes essential. Because the crowd can guide you, but it can also mislead you. The real question is not whether you are influenced. The real question is whether you realize it. So before we end, reflect on this. How many of your current decisions would remain the same if nobody around you had an opinion about them? And more importantly, if no one could see it, would you still want it? Take a moment to think. And share your answer in the comments. And share your answer in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this exploration, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep exploring your hidden mind.